Remember all those train derailments that were taking place a few months ago? Look at what happened in Ohio. What about the spy balloons? What about everything that was going on, seemingly all at the exact same time? Well, it hasn't really finished yet, and I want to show this to you and give you a little bit of insight as to what's happening with the infrastructure in the United States. And of course, think about that for the whole world. We can compare all of this. I will show you this as well as where to get free beer. Yeah, you heard me correct. Let's begin. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Free beer, we'll talk about that in a sec, but I want to show you something. A second Norfolk Southern train derails in Ohio. You remember this, East Palestine, and they went through and they said, hey, this is something that just occurs. We're sorry about it. Deeper along, though, we found out some interesting info. So I'll cover that and I'll cover a few other things, but keep in mind, this is about the infrastructure. 2 train cars plunge into the river after Wisconsin train derailment. This was on April 27th. There are about 3 train derailments in the United States per day. They usually aren't major disasters. I want to make note of that this does happen. Things do happen, stuff happens. But a lot occurred that, in my opinion, was questionable. Leaked audio reveals U.S. rail workers were told to skip inspections as Ohio crash prompts scrutiny to the industry. Exclusive employee says manager told her to stop marking the cars for repair as Ohio derailment brings hard look at the industry's record of blocking safety rules. It's not just this one industry, but how many different bridges and roads and all these different things have been extremely dangerous. You've seen that, I'm sure, in your own city. If you live in a big city and you look at that bridge and you think to yourself, that thing looks like it's going to fall any minute, and they let it go. They're there, they're inspecting. I'm sure they've seen it, but they just let it go. These things happen. And yeah, every day people can drive on that bridge and people can go on that train and it's all fine. But one day something happens and an unfortunate circumstance like this occurs. The trillions of dollars that are being spent today are being squandered. When you look at the actual amount of money from your tax money that goes towards the things that you use, that road itself, like you driving on that road, it's literally pennies on the dollar. How does that make you feel? If you are spending $1 and only, let's say, 2 or 3 pennies of it actually goes to the road, and then maybe, the employees get a few pennies, and a lot of the bureaucracy, the red tape, the whining and dining that happens, all of the other things that go around actually making something happen. You got to realize this. In order to build a bridge, in order to build a road, in a government, there's like 50,000 meetings that need to take place. So much red tape. Forms have to be filled out. Paperwork, shuffling the papers from one department to another. Delays, arguments, phone calls, faxes. Yeah, if it's the government, they're using fax. And then all these different things just to do something. And as it goes through this machine that is the government, it slows it down and it actually takes the money away from you. So you put $1 in, but by the time it comes down, it's less at the end of the day. And that's what's occurring right here now. So we're going to pay attention to that. And that's my message to you. Okay? Look. Train derails into the Mississippi River in southern Wisconsin. Derailment happened about 30 miles south of La Crosse. Minnesota train derailment. Ethanol fire renews safety fears. Crazy stuff. My goodness. Most train derailments in western Pennsylvania happen near major rivers. A new study finds. I just see all these things. It just makes me sad, unfortunately, because people do get hurt with these. Hopefully it's just like damage to property and things, but it's not always the case. Tuscola train derailment causes several railroad crossing closures. Freight train car derails in Granada Hills. There's so many. And I could show you that other ones that are going on in different places. What about this? Video shows derailed Russian train in flames after hitting explosive device. Okay. That's just one. And of course, these things could be, part of war. They could be, somebody playing tricks. But regardless, we need to fix up the infrastructure and we need to do our due diligence. And that's important for any business and for any of the things that we use on a daily basis. Netherlands train crash, 1 dead, dozens injured after carriages derail. Unfortunately, there you go. Train carrying hazardous materials derails in North Dakota. You can see this one. This is in Greece. I mean, it's every day, it seems. Here we go. Free beer. Spilled drink. Train derails beside the Montana River, tipping out cases of beer. Coors Light and Blue Moon shipments spilled beside the Clark Folk River in Paradise, leaving a difficult mess. And I wanted to show you that. And if you could see this guy right down here, I know it's a little small. I can't zoom in further than that. He's pretty happy. He's holding on to some free beer. So if you happen to be there, this article is from April 4th. I think maybe that beer is probably gone, probably gone by now. But if any beer, trains carrying beer derail, you might be able to get some free beer at the end of all of this. Now, I'm just trying to make the situation a little bit lighter. It's a tough topic to discuss. But again, my point was made that we have a train derailment that takes place. We have a bridge that falls down. I've shown you the data before about the infrastructure, and it's pretty clear. It's not exactly too healthy, yet we're spending trillions of dollars. And that's, different reasons, but understand that there are these lobbyists that will go in and suggest to the politicians what you should and shouldn't be doing. Look, a politician, a guy who's been a politician for life, he's a lawyer, let's say, and he's trying to make the rules for what's happening with, let's say, a tech company. Well, he doesn't know anything about tech. He would say, let's just imagine that he wants to do the best for the constituents and say, look, I want to do the best for them. Tell me what's right, tell me what's wrong. So he's like actively asking people, and he'll ask somebody who works in tech, oh, wait a second, why don't we get a guy from Google to sit down with us, a lobbyist, and maybe somebody who works there, maybe somebody's a revolving door. So maybe that guy used to work for Google and then he works in the government sector and he has friends that are lobbyists, and they all sit down, they all have a meeting and they say, okay, what should we do here? How are we gonna protect ourselves? And what are we gonna take action on in the next little while? And of course, you might think to yourself, well, they're working for the government, so they're gonna do good things, but it's not always the case. In fact, a lot of times, they're just there for their self-serving interests. That's the way it goes. The same thing applies to the military-industrial complex, big pharma, all of these things. And I say this to you knowing that this doesn't do me very good in terms of the algorithm, but I have to say it because it's the truth. And that's the way it goes. Okay? This video right here, if you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it. You can check it out for yourself. Here, retirement and Social Security will disappear. Have you seen this video yet? I'm talking about something very important for you. And if you haven't, look, this is what's going on. Your infrastructure money, it's gone. Social Security, retirement, they don't care about you. They're going to spend, they're going to give that money to JP Morgan and all the bankers, and they're going to enjoy. If you haven't seen this video, definitely watch it. Check it out. I'll see you there right now.